Yes, I'm Dr. David Okello Kalule. I'm the program leader for the oil crops here, which includes 3 commodities, simsim, sunflower, and groundnuts. Now, the Nosp project is a project which is born as a result of loan the government got from IFAD, and it's a 7-year project, and we are in the 4th year of its implementation. Here we are targeting 3 value chain: the one of simsim, the one of groundnuts, and then the one of sunflower.
The government of Uganda decided to design this project to solve a major challenge that we have in this country, where we are importing vegetable oil close to over $300 million annually. So as the project, we are trying to shorten the gap and ensure that we can produce the oilseed crops.
Now, the overall goal there is Uganda is overspending money in importing vegetable oil, yet we have the capacity to produce it here. So the project has set its eye on making sure that the importation of oil needs to reduce. We need to be self-reliant.
And this effort, we are working with the NARO and specifically NASARI to support research activities for 3 commodities, that is groundnuts, simsim, and sunflower.
So to be able to support the component of seed, this is the local seed business groups that are supposed to multiply seed for the grain producers. We partnered with the NASARI, which is an institute under National Agricultural Research Organization, and they are supporting in a number of research activities, variety selection, multiplication, trials, and all that, such that we have the needed varieties.
So far, we have made good progress with the researchers. We have improved varieties of groundnuts, of simsim, and the team is also working hard to ensure that we can, as a country, produce sunflower seed.
And then also another aspect of it is empowering farmers to produce to scale and quality of all those commodities. So what Nosp is funding here is, in groundnuts, for instance, they funded the release of the 3 groundnut varieties which were released on the 27th of February. And these groundnuts, as a result of the need from the private sector, the needs from the farmers, in the forms of Naronut 3, Naronut 4, Naronut 5R. So in the area of simsim and sunflower, simsim had not been benefiting from any funding of budget. So it had been almost an orphan crop. The last variety release was in 2013, which is totally mixed up. So the Nosp project is funding the cleaning of those varieties, which we are almost finalizing it, and reintroducing of those 2 flagship varieties, Simsim 2 and Simsim 3, to their respective communities. And then we are in the process of developing new and better varieties. And the pledge here is that by the end of next year, we should be having at least 2 simsim varieties released in Uganda.
And so far, the Institute has promised, under the leadership of Dr. Okello Kalule, David, that indeed in the next 1 year we shall have 2 to 3 varieties of sunflower that will be released. And for us as a project and as a Ministry of Agriculture, that is a plus, given that in the country most of the sunflower that is produced is being imported, and a kilogram is imported at 70,000 to 90,000, which a farmer, even when they just need 3 kilograms for an acre, about 3 kilograms for an acre, that we find it very expensive. And yet we have the capacity as a country to ensure that we produce seed in a more sustainable manner. So we are very impressed with the work of the Institute and the work of the scientists that is under Dr. Walter Anyango, that are doing the testing and the multiplication of sunflower seed and different varieties.
For the last 3 seasons, we have been able to get foundation seed produced by NASARI and giving it to our farmers across the 6 hubs. As I mentioned earlier, the project is in 81 districts that are clustered in 6 hubs. So in these hubs, we have selected the farmer groups that are currently multiplying this seed so that it is able to be accessed by smallholder farmers. And we look forward to this partnership to ensure that they will solve the problem of our farmers lacking access to quality seed.
You go to anywhere in Uganda, and if you get this sort of capsules, come and tell me. You come and tell me. So these are the materials we have developed. And then most of our materials, they start putting capsules from up. But this one, no, almost started from down. And we are trying to reduce the internal length. If you can become in China now, they have, where you don't see the stem, everything is compact with capsules. So these are materials that we are now going to, you can see we have put the thread. This one plant here can be a variety in the future. Sesame 2, one plant, it was not called Sesame 2. It was EM15-3-4, the way I selected it. You know, release, we call it Sesame 2. It is just like that. So these ones, they look alike and they have the same color. If it is not, it is different, like this one here, we give a white thread. You can see how it's branching and the type of capsule, almost capsule, compact. Diseases, you see this one's wilting. We ignore it. Whatever is not wilting, we continue with that. So we screen for diseases, insects, yield, and so on. Stuttering. 2 years ago, some Israelite scientists and American, they developed a variety which is non-stuttering. When it was brought here, within, I think, 3 weeks, starts flowering. And then when you go to some places, the thing just dies and disappears in the field. Did we release it? They have stopped it like that because of adaptability. So we have to check on adaptability by evaluating materials across locations. So like this ones here, we shall multiply and then take them different locations, and then we analyze which one's doing very well across locations.
However, the challenge that was mentioned today is that seed companies are not producing sunflower as seed. And when it comes to the quality declared seed regulation, it doesn't cater for sunflower to be produced by local seed businesses. So what we want to see from this collaboration between Ministry of Agriculture, that is under the Nosp project, and the Institute, is to find a way how can farmers, or how can this QDS regulation and the seed policy be reviewed. If seed companies are not producing sunflower, how can the farmers, the local seed businesses, be supported or be allowed to produce sunflower seed, which we need?
And we have all the needs, the will, and then all the facilities for that. Also in sunflower, Nosp is funding the development of sunflower hybrids. And we pledge just narrow that by the end of next year, at least 2 to 3 varieties of the sunflower hybrid released in the country. And this would go a long way in helping reducing the import of those oil in there. And these varieties, we check them out. They are better than what we have in the market. They are better than the varieties in form of even responding to climate, and then also the maturity and everything else checked. So we believe that they will go ahead and replace what is in the market now. Yes, and also in the area of infrastructure, Nosp has helped us for the first time, given us a brand new pickup truck, which is going to aid our movement to the field. And they are also in the process of procuring motorcycles, which is going to help our technician in going and monitoring on farm and all those things like that. So this is some of the rare investment which we didn't expect to have in our time. So we have all the research funding necessary. We have the infrastructure for mobility, and then they are still having our wish list of getting things like for value addition, getting things like for post-harvest handling in the storage, and then getting for us the drying floor. And in addition to that, they're also building the capacity. They're looking for long-term and short-term. Short-term is training farmers, building the retooling of some of the staff which are on with us. But then as the long-term goal is to get new young scientists to replace us. That's why with the working with Makerere University, a new call is going to come up soon, whereby we shall be training masters and PhD, which will go a long way in beefing our staff we have here, and in the later run they will be the people to replace us.
We have supported nursery with a vehicle because the administrators of nursery highlighted to us that it was one of the challenges. We are also supporting them with the motoring facilities so that the researchers are able to go to the field and follow up the trials and come up with the improved varieties within the project time frame.
In measuring this activity, we are looking at the progress so far attained, and we are very impressed as a project to see that, for example, sunflower that has not been really doing well in terms of research in the country because of limited funding. There is a lot of a number of hybrids that are being tried and tested in different locations, and so far the institute has promised under the leadership of Dr. Okello Kalule David, that indeed in the next 1 year we shall have 2 to 3 varieties of sunflower that will be released.
Now that the project has supported nursery to come up with the improved varieties, I appeal to all the farmers, smallholder farmers, commercial farmers, to ensure that they get access to this improved seed. Because the research has shown it gives you high yields, which means also it gives you more money, and that's the purpose of the project, to get our farmers out of poverty.
On our side, timely funding needs to can only happen when you do your planning and reporting in time. So that is something which inwardly we need to work on that. Then two, we also expect that once these varieties are out there, we develop here, we redevelop them in small quantities. We need to get a very innovative model such that the grain actually reaches the end users, because the product we're looking for comes from the grain. Now, if we have that pull from the grain, then it will streamline the seed systems. On us here, our infrastructure plea is things like tractors to help us open the land in time, things like irrigation facilities to help supplement the rain-fed agriculture. And we're also looking at the post-harvest handling of some of these commodities, the things like silos for storage, things like mechanization of some of this process such that we reduce the tragedy, and then making sure that what we produce is in the right volume and in the right quality.
So we are happy that the scientist in charge is cleaning the 2 varieties to have pure varieties which will be multiplied, and we will have better seed on the market for both our country consumption and for both the export market. So all in all, this has been a very good day. We are planning for the coming year, and we've already identified the focus areas that the institute should handle, and we hope that come 2028 we are going to leave the seed sector of Uganda with some significant output coming from the collaboration of National Oilseed Project and Nursery as an institute under NARO.
This project has been signed off by the MOU between the Ministry of Agriculture and NARO, so we have a legal commitment for this. Two, we have enough resources, we have the personnel with, if you combine the age of the senior people in the personnel, I've been doing groundnut for the last 19 years. My colleague of Sunflower and Simsim had been doing research for over 25 years. So in total, you have combined over 50 years of experience in generating varieties. So we believe that when we promise to release varieties and maintain them, we have the expertise and resources. And then three, the funding is there. That gives us the motivation, the funding for research, the funding for mobility. And then now with the will and the yearning to deliver, and remember, all what we got there is enshrined in our narrow terms of reference. So the work we are doing for Nosp fits in so well with what we do in our day-to-day work. So the motivation is there, the will is there, and we shall surely deliver.